Test, 1, 2, 3. What's going on, team? It's Ricky with Tactical Solutions. Hope that you guys are all having an amazing Sunday, and welcome to another Sunday Stock Talk. I hope that you guys had an amazing weekend and you're ready to kickstart the new year on a green note, right? At least something to work towards. So within this video, if you guys have never tuned on in, we simply talk about the top 10 stocks that you all see value in. So if you ever want to tune on into any of these live streams, all you have to do is subscribe to the YouTube channel, turn on your post notifications, and every single Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, I host one of these live streams where we can come together before the market opens on Monday and simply talk about what stocks are worth talking about right now. So without further ado, I'm going to say what's up to the people that are tuning on in live as of right now. So we got Whitney, Lit, Kyle, we got Eric, David, John, Leo, Paul, Blood on Mars. We got quite a bit of people tuning on in as of right now. We got Logan, Trippy, Zach, Joseph, John. We got Leo, Gabriel. We got Blood on Mars once again. Here we go. So we got, is it Marcy? How you doing? We got Jonathan, Austin, Miguel, Kenny, TC. How you doing? What's going on, Julia? We got Roberto, Sebastian, Jeremy, Luis, Mark. I like it. So we got quite a bit of you. I like it. It's the new year, and it's super great to see that, you know, with everything that's going on, you guys are still staying consistent with it. So I really do appreciate you guys taking time out of your busy Sunday and joining me. So what's going on, Acacia? How you doing? Melissa, Jason, Noon, how you doing? Brandon, Andres, Elliot. We got Izzy, Daniel, Dustin, I like it, Amar. So I appreciate you guys all tuning on in. All we ask you to do is, I hope that throughout this video, we talk about a series of different stocks that you guys see value in. And if it's not too much to ask, you know, it means a lot to us if you guys can simply drop a thumbs up. Also, you guys are going to see me refer them, and it's our free Facebook group. So if you guys haven't joined our free Facebook group, we have over 296,000 members. It's absolutely for free. You guys can refresh this page, and it's the first link down below. So without further ado, let's go ahead, and if your ticker is in the ticker call out format just like this, let's break it down. So we got Sebastian with ticker symbol FDX, which is FedEx, if I'm not mistaken. So FDX, here we go. What the heck? What's going on? No. Alrighty, so I like that you're focusing on something that was previously a pretty good deal, right? It was overall very bullish. It was very consistent. And by good deal, I mean that it's been selling off. So it's approaching previous support level and previous resistance levels right around 200 and what is that, $260. One of the things that we have to keep super clear, right, is that patterns tend to repeat themselves. They do not always have to, right? So this thing has been selling off, been making lower lows, lower highs, and nothing has changed in the past almost month. So what makes it any different this week, right? Because the whole point of these Sunday stock talks are to talk about stocks that are good deals right now. Just because something is oversold doesn't mean that it's a good time to buy. This thing can continue to sell off, and that's what I want to make sure that we take into consideration before buying, thinking that it has to bounce. Nothing has to happen, and if you've traded for some time, I'm sure that you've put yourself in an unfortunate situation where whatever stock it is that you bought continues to sell off. So one of the things that I would really refer back to is this 3 stages of a reversal, right? The rejection, consolidation, and confirmation to, you know, the best of your ability. I know it's very difficult to stay this disciplined, but to wait for some form of consolidation of a support and confirmation before you decide to add or enter, especially if you're under the PDT rule. So I like that you're focusing on something that was previously consistent, was previously bullish. Now it's a good deal, but it doesn't make it a good buy right now until, right, we just begin to indicate signs of an uptrend. Like we've said so many times before, it is so much easier. It's still not easy, but so much easier to make money when the overall direction is in your favor. When something is bullish, when something is ascending, the direction's in your favor. Right now, it's selling off. This just means that we have to stay patient. So I really appreciate you sharing this one with me, Sebastian. So we got Justin De Silva. We got NET. I like it. We got the boys dialed in. So I like this one. Consistent overall uptrend. Cloudflare. Okay, so recently pulled back from 180-day highs. I already have my alert on this one, so we've talked about this one before. I'm going to set my alert, and the only reason I'm doing this is because, like we know, patterns tend to repeat themselves. They don't always have to. So it pulled back right now, which is great because we can get it for a good deal. Does this not almost look exactly like this, right? The 3 stages of a reversal: rejection, we're beginning to consolidate, and now we wait for confirmation. We need to wait for indication of an uptrend. When the people ask, well, what does that look like? Well, like this, right? When it begins to make higher highs and higher lows, and that overall direction is in our favor. So from where we're at as of right now to previous resistance levels, it's about a 15% return. So even if you capture half of that, 7%, do your part in waiting for confirmation, do your part in setting effective alerts. If you like this one, then add it to your watch list. If you don't like it, then that's the beautiful thing about this, is that you get to decide. You are the final decision maker on where you choose to put your money. So there's no question that we still need to wait for confirmation, but I like that you're focused on something that was previously bullish. It sold off a little bit, and now we need to wait for indication of a reversal. So we're going through these pretty quickly. I like it. So we got Harry with KO, and that is Coca-Cola. So I like that you're focusing on something that's bullish, it's consistent, it's not a good deal. So I'm not here to say that, this isn't something, the whole idea, again, asking the question, what is a good deal right now? Coca-Cola, or ticker symbol KO, just hit 180-day highs. So it's more on the overbought side. You can see that with the MACD. You can see that with the RSI, right? It has pullback potential. It's not that it can't continue to uptrend. That's not what I'm saying. Anything can continue to push up, right? It just made new highs, and hopefully it's like Bitcoin, right? I'm totally kidding. That was a joke. But when it broke $30,000, I mean, it's not really a joke, right? When something breaks a resistance level, it can have a little breakout. So this thing just hit 180-day highs. Yeah, it could possibly push a little bit more. But what's your intention? Are you trying to buy and maybe sell later? Are you going in for a long-term investment? I would do your part in getting in when it's a better deal. When it sells off and tests this SMA line, when it sells off and tests this SMA line, I don't want to call it a sell-off, more of a pullback. These healthy pullbacks, right? It becomes overbought, and then it pulls on back. Becomes overbought, pulls on back. Becomes overbought, pulls on back. It does this from time to time, so it's very important to understand the high points, low points, high points, low points, high points, and then we wait for what? Pullbacks. So pullbacks are healthy, and it's super important to understand these pullbacks and when they happen, so you understand when is it a good time to buy, when is it a good time to sell. So I appreciate you sharing this one with me, but I would say that this is a little bit more on the overbought side than anything. So we got ticker symbol RVLV from Victor. How you doing, man? So RV, did I get that correct? So RVLV. Hopefully I got that one correctly. RVLV. Here we go. So, all right, so Revolve Group, we just recently hit 180-day highs at $33. We pulled on back. So again, this would be based off of the idea that this thing continues to ascend. As of right now, this is not the best deal. There's no question about it based off of previous patterns. It is bullish. I like that you're paying attention to something with an overall uptrend pattern and direction. I would just be kind of hesitant. It's a little bit more on the overbought side. The MACD, the RSI, I mean, the MACD looks good. The RSI looks not the best. But if you're focused, based off of how overbought we are, this is just my 2 cents. Based off of how overbought we are, based off of the SMA line, I would say that if you want to day trade it because it's still bullish, all power to you. Would I buy this and hold it? No, not necessarily. And the very simple reason why is if I were to buy now, for the potential of this thing to continue to uptrend, great. It does have some upside potential, and it has been previously bullish. But the downside is pretty significant as well. And if your upside does not outweigh your downside, are you really doing your part in taking advantage of, opportunity? So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. We got Julio with ticker symbol BYND. So very popular ticker symbol. This is Beyond Meat, and we recently pulled on back, if I'm not mistaken. Here we go. So 180-day highs. I love just looking at overall highs at 198, pretty much 197.90. As of right now, it is still selling off. It is still bearish, and it is making lower lows and lower highs. I like that you're paying attention to it, but understand that there's a big difference of paying attention to something right now versus buying it right now. What makes it any different than where it was last week or the week before that? It's still selling off, right? So again, ask yourself that very simple question. Am I putting my money in something right now that's appreciating, or are you like a long-term investor that you want to buy right now and you think that this thing is going to be worth a lot more later down the road? So that would be more of a fundamental analysis. On the technical side, the overall direction is against you. It's been making lower lows, lower highs. I wouldn't see any significant reason other than it aggressively sold off and you want to scalp it, but that would be more as a day trade versus, holding it overnight and stuff like that. So as of right now, it looks like it's been having a very common support level for the past couple of months, right around 120. So I can see why you're paying attention to it there, but we have not indicated any signs of an uptrend. So I'm just going to set my alerts and we can follow up with it then. So it should be pretty interesting. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. What's going on? Kyle, 19 games. We got CRSR. CRSR. Here we go. So this is our 6th ticker that we've broken down so far. So we've definitely broken this one down before. 180-day highs at $52.34. It is testing SMA line as a potential support level. We do not know if we're going to bounce here, right? So I can see why you're paying attention to it at this critical point. So overall, upside, great, 40%. But if it breaks below the SMA line, we got to be very careful. We're going to have to manage our risk, reduce our position size, or hold back altogether and making sure that we don't buy too early when we're not really making higher highs and higher lows. It's very simple to see right now that we've been making these lower highs and it has not been making lower lows, but it's consolidating right around the SMA line. So let's make sure that we do our part in waiting for that overall direction to be in our favor. So let's go ahead and break down. We're going through these so quick. So I want to see if we can break down 4 more. And if we go through them quick enough, then I'd love to break down a couple extra ones for you. So we got 2 of you. Look at that. So we got Yan Tang and Manuel, both with the same ticker, LULU. Let's kill 2 birds with 1 stone. LULU, it's a very common one, a very popular one as of right now. It's definitely one that I'm personally paying attention to, and it's in, you guys can see this, in my personal watch list. That's just my 2 cents. But why? Ricky, why am I paying attention to LULU right now? I don't need you to agree with me. If you don't agree with me, I respect that. I think that you should always be empowered to have your own opinion, and that should never change. The reason that I personally see value in LULU right now on the technical side is I like looking at overbought and oversold levels. And based off of recent patterns, this SMA line has acted as a very common support. Not always, but often. So it pulled on back and it bounced here and it pushed right on back and it became overbought, right? Look at the RSI, look at the MACD, right around 380 to play it safe, right? Now it pulled on back, it's consolidating here, and you guys can see all of my alerts. They're not just on the upside, but they're also on the downside. So based off of where we're at right now, if we do break above the EMA line, I'll add more to my position size. Overall upside is about 9%. Overall downside, if it breaks below 340, again, I can easily manage my risk. But most importantly, what's most important? I want to ask you guys a quick question. Why is this so important right now? We're paying attention to LULU, right? Because it's oversold. If it breaks below 240, what is one of my biggest focuses right now? Yes, I want to wait for confirmation. I want to make sure that, the pattern repeats itself. But what else? If I see value in LULU right now, there we go. We got Dustin that said it. If you're part of the Learn Plan Profit group, right, all of my positions right now. And it's all about position size. And risk management, 100%. But the way that I do this, Kyle, is if it breaks below the SMA line or if it breaks below 240 or 340, then you might be like, well, Ricky, then you're going to have to cut losses. So why did you buy in so early? I only bought with a very small position size. And you guys can see this right here. So ticker symbol LULU, I have 40 shares. 40 shares, right? And for me and the dollar amount that I trade with, that's not too bad. So I can tolerate, and this is I want to give you guys a real world example because it's different, right? 40 shares for you might be very little or a lot in comparison to 40 shares for me is like 1/10 of what 1/5 of what I plan to trade with. So the example that I want to give you is, let's say $1,000. Me buying 40 shares is like you buying, $100 or $200 worth of a stock, right? You go in with enough money that you feel motivated to follow up with it because you see value in it, but you don't go in with so much that because we haven't seen, confirmation yet, and this thing can continue to sell off. So what I'm trying to do is, just in case it does begin to sell off, I can easily manage my risk. I want to ask you guys a very simple question. How many of you, for everyone that's tuning on in right now, how many of you, when you're super heavily invested, when you have a heavy position size on something, when your entire account is in one stock, how difficult is it to cut losses versus just imagine if you only had one share of a stock? Do you get what I mean? All I want you to begin to practice, especially for this new year, is a big game changer for me was watching my position size. It is so much easier to manage your risk when your position size is not as big, right? Because when your position size is super aggressive, it's that emotion that there's a lot of money tied up, and it's so difficult. It doesn't matter who you are. It comes with time. So all I want to encourage you is, if you are someone that's been struggling managing risk, maybe watching your position size might be an area of opportunity. That's what I hope that, it can at least be a step in the right direction for you. So definitely LULU is one that I'm paying attention to, and I wanted to do a little bit more of a in-depth breakdown on it. So let's go ahead and break down this one for Travis. So we got ticker symbol SQ. So we got Square, and if I'm not mistaken, SQ was a really nice setup last week and a very similar setup to almost LULU, right? This one's more of an ascending uptrend pattern, and I like this. Very consistent, very bullish, but we still don't have confirmation. It has bounced here at the SMA line before, but it doesn't mean that it always has to. So you guys can see my alert is set up right here. We're waiting for indication of a reversal, just like we call it, the 3 stages of a reversal. So if you see value in SQ and you think that it could reverse right back up, add it to your watch list, set those alerts, and follow up with it when it makes sense. If it breaks below the SMA line, then again, manage that risk, manage that position size, and we can keep it that simple. So let's do a couple more. I think we have 2 more, but I think I'm going to do a couple more because I have still 10 minutes left with you guys. TTCF. What's going on, Mike? So TTCF. Here we go. So this one looks like it's a little bit more on the overbought side. Based off of previous resistance levels, we talked about this one in our last Sunday stock talk. It looks like it has more downside than it does upside based off of recent highs. So it looks like it's making lower lows and lower highs as of right now. And because of that, just based off of the way it moves, I can see that there's probably a lot of hype behind it. And again, this is me just looking at the way that the volume is moving. And because of that, this would not be something that I would recommend for beginners. And because of how aggressive it moves, it takes a lot of discipline to manage that risk. So don't always just think about, well, what if it goes back up to $30, but also take into consideration, what if it goes back down to $14? Ask yourself and always take into consideration that there's 2 sides to every opportunity. As of right now, the direction's against you. And when asking the question, is this the best buy right now? Well, looking at previous highs and current patterns, I would not say so based off of the lower lows and lower highs. So I really do appreciate you sharing this one with me though. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. We got Billy with SOL. So SOL is a nice little acronym, but I think this one's a little bit different. So SOL is overall making, that was like my dad joke of the day, just let it be. Very consistent uptrend pattern. You can see that the volume bars are kind of all over the place. It looks like there's a lot of potential manipulation with this one. Although it is very bullish, it's very overbought. And if you want to take it day by day, that's up to you. I just don't think the opportunity cost is necessarily worth it. But what I mean by that is the upside I don't see outweigh the downside. That's just my 2 cents. So let me know what you guys think. Let's go ahead and do 2 more breakdowns. So we got TTD. I believe we've done this breakdown before. So this is the Trade Desk Incorporated. Sold off. We've done this breakdown before. I set my alert for the break above the EMA line. That's right on over here. And the reason that I'm talking about this is it's right around the SMA line. So this is great to follow up with. But just like we talked about it last week, it still has not shown any indication of an uptrend. So if it continues to sell off, then guess what? Is it a stock worth buying right now? Most likely not, right? So confirmation is key, especially if we're trying to kickstart the new year on a green out, right, team? Because that's what we're trying to do. So we got EPD. I'm going to do one more after this, so make sure you get ready with the ticker call-out format. So EPD has pulled on back from $22. It's now at the SMA line, so I see why you're paying attention to it. I'm going to keep this one simple. We need confirmation of a reversal. So let's set my alert there, and I'm also going to set my alert if it breaks below the SMA line. If it breaks below the SMA line, then guess what? I will let this thing bleed, because the more it sells off, the better deal I can buy it for. Think about that. But if it begins to indicate signs of an uptrend, then guess what? I can slowly begin to add more to my position size. And based off of where we're at right now to previous resistance levels, that's about 11% ROI. If it were to make a full-on reversal. Again, my goal is something to work towards, not something that has to be hit every single day. So this is a great way, Luis and Skullbull, to not have me break down your stock. Come on, guys. Like, if you see everyone going out of their way and posting it in the ticker call-out format, what makes you think I'm going to break down yours? You know, it's for your own good. I need you to plan out and practice, planning out your trades. So ticker symbol BE. We're also going to do space. So I got you on that one. Overall, very bullish. Recently pulled back from highs of $32 pretty much. A lot of consolidation. This is not one that I would view for crazy margins. If this is one that you've been most likely, right, been following up with, and you like the way that it's been trading because it becomes overbought, it pulls on back, finds a support, reverses, pulls on back, finds a support, reverses, pulls on back, finds a support, reverses. I see why you're paying attention to it. If you like the way that it trades, then great, all power to you. Do I find like this is the best deal ever? Well, no, these reversals and, from lows to highs aren't ridiculous margins, but, if they offer about 10% and you capture 7% of that, I think that's absolutely amazing. And let's go ahead and end it with SPCE. Actually, I'm going to break down another one right after this one. But SPCE, we talked about this one 2 weeks ago. And guess what? It is still not performing the best. A lot of consolidation right around $23, $24. And it was making higher highs, and then it pulled right on back. So as of right now, let's set those alerts. Let's watch that position size, because we got nothing but time. Let's not try to make it or break it, especially when direction is not super clear. So the last one that I want to talk about is, guess what? What happened last week? Tesla made 180-day highs. So 180-day highs. So, all right, this is super annoying. Don't promote your channel on my channel. Like, let me tell you. Like, yeah, that's definitely not, that's a great way on how to get blocked. So, but yeah, as of right now, Tesla is at 180-day highs. Highs of 718, almost 719, and we finally broke above that $700 resistance level. Is it due for a pullback? That's up to you to decide. What I do want to share with you is looking at the MACD, right, and looking at the RSI, it does look a little bit more on the overbought side. We will see if that momentum continues. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to it as of right now, but the overall market is down. The overall market is down a little bit over, 0.25%. So this might mean that a lot of the stocks that you held overnight might open up in the red. Don't freak out. Watch that position size. The market is also very overbought. So all I want to remind you is to try to maintain composure throughout this year, right? If the market were to pull back, just you need to be aware of how things are trading right now. As right now, Tesla and a lot of these different stocks that a lot of us have been trading are at very overbought levels. This doesn't mean that you have to be scared, right? Difficult doesn't mean impossible. So this just means that we have to watch our position size, not be afraid to lock in profits and manage our risk. But let's be honest, it's the simple things in life that people tend to overcomplicate, and the stock market is no exception. So thanks for reviewing the ticker I asked for. I appreciate it, man. No, of course, I appreciate you guys just spending some time with me. I really do. I also want to say for everyone that sent me birthday or happy birthday, messages and stuff like that, I'm still trying to catch up on them on Instagram. I don't think I've ever received so many messages. I felt so much love from all of you guys. I just wanted to say, from the bottom of my heart, I really do appreciate and all the birthday wishes that came from you, and I'm really excited to kickstart the year. So I'd love to stay connected if you guys would like to. Again, you guys can refresh the screen and it's the first link down below. But other than that, I'm excited to kickstart the week with the Learn Plan Profit Group. So we will be live tomorrow at Market Open for our live trading session. And if you want to tune on in and join our LPP team, they're the only group that I work with, and it's the second link down below. So I appreciate your time. I wish you guys nothing but a blessed week, Continue working hard, continue following dreams, let your passion be what drives your success. I respond to all of my direct messages. If you have any questions about joining our LPP team, direct message me on either Instagram or direct message me on Discord. Friendly reminder, I only have one Instagram and one Discord, and I never message you first. So there's a bunch of fake ones out there, but I'm sure you guys can tell, right? I have 177,000 followers or something like that on Instagram, and you guys, all the links to my Discords are either in our Facebook group, which is provided for you down below. So I appreciate your guys' time. Continue working hard, continue following dreams, let your passion be the drive to your success, and like always, let's make sure that